This is Jehovah's Witnesses' website. What does the Bible say about homosexuality? It's the title of this article. I happen to know exactly what Jehovah's Witnesses think the Bible says about it, and I'll clarify with what it actually says about it. But let's read their article, see what they say. Before we read the article on Jehovah's Witnesses' website, let me just read a couple of excerpts from my book. This is 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, and I have another book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, where I draw out resources about what they believe regarding the LGBT community. So let me just read a couple so you have an idea of what their position is. This is question number 18 out of my 100 questions for Jehovah's Witnesses. Why do Jehovah's Witnesses think that being gay is wrong? The Bible mentions homosexuality in any form in a total of 6 out of 31,102 verses. It seems clear to me that it wasn't an important issue. 3 of those verses are in the Old Testament, Genesis 19, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and Leviticus 18 and 20. Those are the 3 verses from the Old Testament. Some of the verses are based on Sodom and Gomorrah, so it's important to note that these cities weren't destroyed because gay people lived within their walls. Ezekiel 16:49. Now this is the sin of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and needy. So the 3 verses in the Old Testament are nullified in my mind, right? Because they're irrelevant. Jesus came back and fulfilled the old law. We don't need it. So Leviticus 18 and 20 are out the door. Sodom and Gomorrah is out the door. It's irrelevant. That leaves us with 3 other verses. 1 Corinthians 6:9-10, 1 Timothy 1:10, and then Romans 1:26-27. The Romans verse is the most commonly trotted out by creationists. It says, "For this reason God gave them up to degrading passions. Their women exchanged natural intercourse for unnatural, and in the same way also the men, giving up natural intercourse with women, were consumed with passion for one another. Men committed shameless acts with men and received in their own persons a due penalty for their error." Well, once you dig a little bit deeper, I don't speak the language, okay? This isn't for me. I didn't come up with this. This is somebody else. This is scholars in the field. When you dig a little bit deeper, scholars discovered that the conditions, the cultural situation at the time were completely different for gay people. It didn't exist in its current form as we have today. When it's talking about men committing shameless acts with men and so on and so forth, it's actually talking about 2 things. Being the passive participant in a male prostitution equation, specifically, being the bottom, basically, is what I'm saying, or pederasty. Pederasty is where older men take young boys as pupils and do terrible things to them. So that's what was being condemned by the Bible here. Jesus didn't say a word about anything gay, as a matter of fact. Neither did anybody else, except for these few verses here. So I'm having a hard time accepting that Jehovah's Witnesses are using a biblical position to hate gay people. Now, let's just read a little bit of this article here. What does the Bible say about homosexuality? The Bible's answer. Look, check it out. They quoted Genesis 1:27, Sodom and Gomorrah, even though it wasn't destroyed because of gay people. It was destroyed because of their treatment of the poor. God created humans to engage in sex only with the arrangement of marriage between a male and a female. Genesis 1:27 and 28, Leviticus 18:22. What did I tell you? They're quoting the Old Testament again, the Mosaic Law, the thing that Jesus fulfilled. The Bible condemns sexual activity that is not between a husband and a wife, whether it's homosexual or heterosexual conduct. I'm not sure what this Proverbs verse says. I don't trust their Bible as far as I can throw it. Actually, I can throw it pretty far, so I can't trust it at all is the point. Let me just see if I can pull up the original. Don't ask me how I know how hard I can throw their Bible. All right, Proverbs 5:18-19. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. Deer, D-E-E-R, like the animal. A lovely animal, deer. May her breast satisfy you at all times. May you be intoxicated always by her love. Okay. What does that have to do with anything? Why are we even reading this? Why'd they stick this in there? Is there a broader context that I'm missing here? Oh, this is a warning against impurity and infidelity? Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be for yourself alone and not sharing with strangers. Okay, well, that doesn't sound like a very good message that anybody should stand for. And this, my friends, is called cherry picking. The Bible condemns sexual activity that is not between a husband and a wife, whether it's homosexual or heterosexual. This includes intercourse. Oh my God. Are they really going to go through the list? They are. Fondling and engaging in other forms of acts. I'm trying to keep it monetizer friendly. While the Bible disapproves of gay acts, it does not condone hatred of homosexuals or homophobia. Instead, Christians are directed to respect everyone. Okay, good. I love that message, except they're completely full of it. Let me prove it. This is my book, once again. Jehovah's Witnesses in 2023, not even that long ago, 2023, one of their watchtowers, they released an article about them being persecuted by gay people. Okay, I'm not even joking with this. The article is from their August 2023 watchtower, page 6. Here's the quote from it. Some even try to bully our young ones into breaking their loyalty to Jehovah. Note, for example, what happened to a young man named Graham, who lives in Australia. He faced a challenging situation when he attended high school. The teacher asked the class how they would react if a friend confided in them about being being a homosexual. Gotta say that. The teacher said all in the class who would support a friend in pursuing such a lifestyle must stand on one side of the room. Those who would not on the other side. This is an absurd situation, okay? I'm sorry. I can't buy that this happened in a public school in Australia. Why didn't this make international news? Trump nutcases would jump at the opportunity to talk about this. People being persecuted for hating the gay lifestyle choice. Just absurd. Just everything about it. Every word out of my mouth was absurd just now. Anyway, when he's supposedly put on each side of the room, Graham says the entire class stood on the side that supported that lifestyle, except for me and another witness. What happened next was a real test of Graham's loyalty to Jehovah. For the rest of the hour-long class, he says, the other students and even the teacher taunted and insulted us. Really, the teacher separated her class into kids that support the gay lifestyle choice and those who don't, and then taunted and made fun of the ones that didn't support it. Really? Come on. Am I supposed to believe this? Anyway, it says, I did my best to defend my faith in a calm and reasonable way, but they didn't listen to a word I said. What effect did this loyalty have on Graham? He says, I did not like being the target of such verbal attacks, but I felt incredibly happy that I was able to defend my beliefs without compromise. Jehovah's Witnesses, Watchtower, August 2023, page 6. That's absurd. I argue in this book that Jehovah's Witnesses hate gay people. I don't want them to get away with this. We love everybody. Like they said a minute ago on their article. What was it they said? The Bible does not condone hatred of homosexuals or homophobia. Instead, Christians are directed to respect everyone. I disagree on the idea that Jehovah's Witnesses believe that everyone should be loved and respected. This is question number 97 in my book. Why do Jehovah's Witnesses hate gay people? Jehovah's Witnesses would deny this charge. We don't hate gay people, they say. We love everybody. We just want them to meet God's moral expectations. Sound familiar? Just like they put in this article here? We've already spoken about God's moral expectations, but I claim Jehovah's Witnesses do hate gay people. Look at this quote from a 1995 Awake article. A youth who desires to please God, therefore, conform to his moral standards and shun immoral behavior, though doing so may be agonizingly difficult. True, some individuals may very well be prone to homosexuality. Well, this is progress from where they stood previously. In their 1976 book called Your Youth Getting the Best Out of It, they wrote that touching yourself will turn you gay, for one thing. A whole bunch of other stuff will turn you gay. I don't remember. The quotes are all in my book, by the way. owenmorgan.com if you want to read more of it. So they've moved off of that onto people are prone to it, apparently. I thought it was a lifestyle choice. What happened to that a second ago? Some individuals may very well be prone to homosexuality, just as some individuals are, according to the Bible, prone to wrath. But the Bible still condemns displays of unrighteous anger. Similarly, unrighteous is highlighted here. Unrighteous anger. Similarly, a Christian cannot excuse immoral behavior by saying he was born that way. Child molesters invoke the same pathetic excuse when they say their craving for children is innate. But one cannot deny that their sexual appetite is perverted. So is the desire for someone of the same sex. Jehovah's Witnesses, Why Do I Have These Feelings? Awake, February 8th, 1995, page 16. So I simply disagree. When you have that viewpoint about gay people, you can't care about them. How'd they put it? You can't respect them. There is no respect being paid here. You don't love your neighbor as yourself. You hate them. I don't know how else to put it. Can a person be born homosexual? Okay, this one's bound to be interesting. The Bible doesn't comment directly on the biology of homosexual desires. No really? I thought that it talked all about genes and genomes and gametes and all that other shit. Okay? This is news to me. I didn't know the Bible is completely ignorant to any scientific information. All right, go on. Though it acknowledges that we are all born with a tendency to go against what God commands. Does that include heterosexual people, I wonder? Rather than focus on the cause of homosexual desires, however, the Bible prohibits homosexual acts. Well, like I said, it mentions it in 6 verses. Jesus never said it. Why don't you ever consider the possibility that maybe God condemned heterosexual acts? Why is it gay acts? And you know what? That only makes up 7% of the population. The path is narrow, right? And the few that are going to make it are going to be small in number or whatever. What happened to all that? Maybe being gay is preferable to God. No, it's not preferable. The Bible speaks negatively about it in some cases, but none in cases that Christians should pay any attention to, really. Or none that are legitimized by the history of the Bible, the actual history behind it. How to please God despite having same-sex urges. All right, this section is on how to pleasure God like a young boy should. Okay, the Bible says, don't be controlled by your body. Kill every desire for the wrong kind of sex. To kill wrong desires which lead to wrong actions, you need to control your thinking. Thought control. This is literally one of the factors that make something a cult. Creating a new personality through behavior and thought control and information control and emotional control. I mean, could they be any more on the nose about this? If you regularly fill your mind with wholesome thoughts, you can more readily dismiss wrong desires. While you may struggle greatly at first, it can become easier. God promises to help you to be made new in the force actuating your mind. Okay. The same struggles faced by millions with heterosexual desires who wish to conform to the Bible's standards, i.e., no sex before marriage. For example, those who are single with little prospect of marriage or who are married to a partner who's unable to function sexually choose to control their sexual urges despite any temptations they might face. They're able to live happily, and those with same-sex urges can do so as well if they truly want to please God. This is an extremely unique situation that they're outlining here. Somebody who is with someone who's disabled, basically, and in those types of situations, there's other stuff that can be done. It doesn't mean it's the end of your sex life. It doesn't even mean going with someone else either. All kinds of other options here. In gay people's case, it means none. It means period. For the rest of your life, that's it. When in reality, the Bible does not condemn long-term gay relationships, like gay marriage. It doesn't condemn gay marriage. I guess that's how Jehovah's Witnesses view the whole situation. Big surprise. Absolutely terrible. And kind of underhanded. They're trying to obscure their real feelings on it by saying they're supposed to respect everyone. No one is supposed to hate gay people. They just hate what they do. Just come out and say it. They put it in their magazines. They instill this feeling in their people strongly enough. I know how they feel. Everybody knows how they feel. Why are they pretending otherwise? This probably pisses me off more than people who overtly engage in homophobia. Them pretending that they're not engaging in homophobia, but doing so. That's really frustrating to me. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments.